So to put it simply, I am in love with this comeback. I don't think I'd call myself a Neverland, but I have followed Soyeon since her pre-debut survival show days, so this won't be a completely unbiased review. First of all, this MV is stunning. Each member really has their own moment. Even though all the elements are quite different, they overall weave together really effortlessly and makes it still look really cohesive. And I love that they've kept this sort of royalty theme that Lion had. The chic violet also ties into the royalty theme because of what purple represents. And it was a really clever way to kind of link that in, I thought. I don't know if it was intentional, but it works. I'm really looking forward to see what the choreography is like for this song too. They barely showed it in this MV compared to what they usually show, and in a way it's kind of exciting that they didn't overwhelm it with choreography. I do like seeing choreography in MVs, but I think for this, having all of those visual moments, it was a lot more powerful, especially for the kind of vibe they were going for, especially for this kind of concept. Like, the visual elements really owned the whole MV. I really liked how they split the roles of royalty and I want to say kind of outcast, banished, limbo character between the girls. Minnie and Soyeon representing the banished or limbo state, contrasted with Sujin, Yuki, and Miyeon being royalty. Then Shua incorporating both of these with her beautiful long dress and then her with the barbed wire. I thought it was really cool. I also noticed that there's a lot of parallels between Oh My God and Lion in this way, like with all the arrows shot around Minnie and the barbed wire in this one and the cage in Lion. I like how it's not all beautiful royalty like you would usually see. It's kind of got that darker vibe to it, and it's really cool. In a way, I kind of want to say Exodus, like that kind of banished Bible going out in the desert, like that white room could represent that, and all the backup dancers around Minnie. Because lions are obviously a symbol for royalty, whereas this is kind of more of a religious vibe, like the lights are in the shape of crosses. Along with this, I think that they've kind of learnt from their past of cultural appropriation. To me, it's evident in this MV. You can still appropriate religion, especially because usually culture and religion are intertwined quite deeply. But as someone who is religious, I think that this was tastefully done. You can see the inspiration, but they haven't done it to the point where it's problematic, unlike they did in Senorita, where even like using ethnic flavor or whatever the term was, that was a problem. And I think they've finally taken that on board and they've taken a step in the right direction of taking inspiration rather than crossing the line and appropriating the culture or the religion. I also really like the use of the bell, like the classic cathedral bell. I also like the whispering voices part in the break before the final chorus, even though it's kind of creepy, but it works. Part of me was kind of disappointed that wasn't in the official song. In a way, it actually reminds me of Halsey's Young God. The message and the lyrics also kind of line up with each other about a toxic love, I guess. And yet, no matter what you compare this song to, it still has its own kind of persona. It subtly references other things, but it's definitely its own creation. Also, this part, oh my god! Stunning. Just stunning. I know I keep saying stunning, but this whole thing is stunning and I'm dead and I love it. Yes. Okay. Now for the actual album itself. I listened to all the songs straight after watching the MV for the second time, but I started with the English version of Oh My God and timed it with the MV just so I could see what it would be like. Honestly, I would love an MV for the English version just because it would give them an excuse to play more with this concept. Because obviously, in case you can't tell, really loving this concept. Though we have already got an MV for Lion, so can't really complain, understand if they're not going to do it. I guess the only real problem for me with the English version was that the English wasn't as easy to understand as I find other groups to be, though it's a different language, so I completely understand why. The only time I really had trouble understanding anything, like real trouble, was Soyeon's rap. I think if you're going to rap in another language, especially if you haven't done it before, no one's going to have a problem with you simplifying the lyrics and flow to make it easier on yourself. I also found that the foreign members actually were really good with their pronunciation/diction. I already knew how fluent Minnie was, but Yuki and especially Shua really surprised me and shone. My favorite song on the album other than the title is Maybe. I like that it's more vocally focused and that they mixed up the order of who sings when. The vocals are so beautiful and the drop with Maybe over the top, everything beautiful, stunning. I already know this is going to be one of my most played songs, at least for the month, if not the entire year. And I can imagine going for a late night drive with this song on, especially since it's winter here now. And my only escape to get out of the house with all that's going on is to go for a drive. Love You gives me I Am vibes, like the album that they had, I Am. But it still fits into the album, but I think that's because of the background sound and the verses sounds like what's already on the album. But the intro and the chorus sounds very experimental, like what they initially started doing. It gives me the same vibe as Dollar Dollar Dollar. I think that's how you say it, the $ one. And I really like that song. So it was really cool to have that kind of reminiscent vibe of what they used to be like and how their style has matured over time. Overall, I think it was really smart because it satisfies fans that do like that sound, but they've kept it updated to the new style. I do like it and it's a throwback, but I'm not as in love with it as I am with the others because it is a good song. It just doesn't stand out to me. Lion has already been out since Queendom, and in case you couldn't tell, I was in love with that too. I really love the MV and I love the stage and I just love the whole sound of it, the whole vibe, everything. Great, beautiful, stunning. I really love that they added it to this album because you could even say that Lion was a catalyst for this more mature sound. It feels like a grown version of Han in a way, like an older sister album. Concept photos. Marry me, please. All girl groups have stunning visuals, but like I said, this concept is probably one of my favorites ever. The black and white, the lace and the feathers, it's kind of medieval and elegant all at once. I can't really think of any other comebacks like this, but if you know them, please leave them down below. I would love to find more music like this and it's so pretty. I just love the mature elegance all of this has. The makeup is also really beautiful. It's not the typical subtle Korean beauty, but it's also quite toned down compared to what I would consider to be Western. Like, it is that sort of dark, smoky look, but it's quite stripped back. I love the lip coloring too, that sort of dark berry color. I'm also seeing a lot of snakes, like with the jewelry and the material of Minnie's outfit here. Like, it kind of looks like snake scales or snake skin. The white concept with the pearls and the crystals is soft, but it's not out of place. Like, if you put the two images side by side, I forgot to say, I'm also here for the natural kind of hair colors. Like, I love that all the girls are kind of going for like blonde or light blonde, dirty blonde, black. It goes well with the whole black and white theme, and I really appreciate it. These two versions of the album, they do definitely, I feel like they complement each other more than a lot of album versions do. Like, I really do love NCT Dream Boom, but I felt like the two versions didn't quite match up, I guess. Whereas this, it literally is the whole yin and yang thing that people have mentioned before. Like, I know Angelina did a prediction and a lot of her subscribers mentioned it as well. And I really love this sort of like angel feathers thing going on, like dark angel, fallen angel, and like heavenly angel. I think that's really pretty. I kind of want to buy both versions, but money and also worldly circumstances. I really love the name of the album too. It's really, I find, it's such a gorgeous name, like I Trust. The main cover that you are seeing on things like Spotify, to me it kind of looks like marble, like the wings look like they're from a marble statue. Also, I really love the font of I Trust. The I and the T look like candles. It's really clever. Now, moving on to the showcase. I haven't actually seen the showcase itself, so I don't know how, like, their stage presence is always like top notch to me, so it's not about that. I'm talking more about like how the stage looks and the costumes and concepts. I have seen the outfits posted on their Instagram, and I've got to say I'm kind of disappointed. They don't look like they belong with this concept or this album. Like, it fits more in line with that kind of chic vibe rather than this medieval kind of tone that they've been going for with the concept photos and the MV. I really hope that the stylist does go closer to what we've already seen. All you have to do is incorporate those key points of accessories, like with the pearls, the crystals, the lace, all those sorts of things, snakes even. I have high hopes for the stages of these music shows. Like, I'm really excited to see what they do. I would really love to see this hairstyle again on Minnie, and I'd love all of, like, I get it's hard. I'm being realistic here though. I know that they're not going to come out and perform in full long gowns or anything, but I'm guessing if they're going to perform in these, it would be what we see here for like this split second in the MV. I hope that the stylists just go back to the medieval gothic theme rather than go with styling that, in my opinion, doesn't match the comeback at all. That's all from me, guys. Please stay safe, stay home, and if you really need to get out of the house, go for a drive and listen to the album. And yeah, bye.
Listen to this singer.
에서 더 많은 영상을 즐겨보세요.
Again, stunning.